welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a quite ludicrous looking puzzle today, which just seems to consist of 4 blue lines. And yeah, it's called Just Sum Ambiguity by SSG, and these lines essentially, they're not quite liars. I don't think you can describe somebody as lying if they just, if they just withhold information from you. Probably not anyway, but that's what these lines do. These lines sort of combine, they are all region sum lines, but then they are either entropic lines or modular lines. And this puzzle has an enormously high approval rating, obviously. One of our testers thought it was one of the most fantastic puzzles they've done in recent months. So that gives you an idea of what we could be expecting. 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so perhaps not the hardest puzzle we've ever done. But I'm going to read you the rules, and then I've got a couple of things to tell you about. So let me read you the rules to SSG's puzzle. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. In addition, the sum of digits along a line must be the same within each 3x3 box the line passes through. Then there's an example. It says, e.g., row 9, column 1, row 9, column 2, and row 8, column 3, which you can see. Let's just highlight those for a moment. They are the line cells on this line. They're all the line cells that live in this box. So along this line, those 3 digits must add up to the same number as, I'm on a funny colour scheme today. Let's do those. Those 2 cells. So you add up those 2. Let's say you get 10. That would mean those 3 digits have to add up to 10. Let's do another line. So those cells have to sum to the same as those cells have to sum to the same as those cells. So that's how the basic rules of this puzzle work. Let's now reset the puzzle to avoid having to delete everything. Check my time is going. It is. Now, then it says, furthermore, each line satisfies one of the following entropic lines. Along an entropic line, any run of 3 cells contains exactly 1 low, exactly 1 medium, and exactly 1 high digit, with a low digit being a 1, 2, or a 3, a medium digit a 4, 5, or a 6, and a high digit being a 7, 8, 9. So let's look at those 3 cells there. Let's do them. Let's colour them. I think for all these puzzles that involve entropy, colouring is almost essential. So one of these colours is a low digit. One of them is a medium, one of them is a high. We wouldn't know which one, but the thing to think about is this cell. Now this cell, because any 3 cells that are in a run along this line have to contain 1 of each digit, you can see that this cell, whatever green is, whether it's low, medium or high, that cell most certainly has to be green. Now look at those 3 cells. That cell will have to be blue. Then this cell will have to be yellow, etc. So we don't know at the start, well in fact we don't even know at the start of the puzzle whether this is an entropic line. But were it to be an entropic line, it would have to exhibit this sort of chromatic pattern, let's call it that. However, each line satisfies one of the following. It could be an entropic line like this, or it could be a modular line. Now along a modular line, the digits in any run of 3 cells, let's use the same colours, must all have different remainders under division by 3. Now what does that mean, you may think? Well, let's think about the digits 1, 4 and 7 in terms of the situation. If we divide any of these digits by 3, what happens? Well, if we divide 1 by 3, we get 0, remainder 1. If we divide 4 by 3, we get 1 with a remainder of 1. And if we divide 7 by 3, we get 2 with a remainder of 1. So 1, 4 and 7 all have a remainder of 1 under division by 3. So this is one of the sets of digits. One of the colours will be a 1, 4, 7. Now let's look at 2, 5 and 8. If we divide these numbers by 3, we always get a remainder of 2. So one of the colours will be from the set 2, 5, 8. And then what about 3, 6 and 9? Well, if we divide these by 3, we get a remainder of 0. So one of the colours would correspond to 3, 6 and 9. And yeah, so basically it's exactly, well, it's sort of exactly the same as the entropic rule, in the sense that within each run of 3 you have to have 1 from each of those sets. And again, we don't know which colour would correspond to which remainder. They are the rules. It's a weird and wonderful rule set, sort of ambiguity, a go-go going on. And that's what we're going to have a go at in this video in a moment or two's time. But I have some things to tell you about first. I'm going to start off with something that I suppose I'm sort of a little bit proud of, which is that Cracking the Cryptic, which is this tiny little channel where we do logic problems every day, and we have fun thinking about rational things. Well, it's just stretching into other parts of popular culture. So Tonya, thank you very much for alerting me to the fact that the big where is this? The big Twitch streamer, Virtual, he did this. I don't know if this is going to work. Let me see.
Interesting puzzles on top of that kind of suit your puzzle designs. It's absolutely amazing. This could definitely be something that Cracking the Cryptic could try as well. I mean, this is just a great puzzle. I do recommend it, Simon, if you ever see this. It's a marvelous puzzle.
Can you believe that? It's hard to believe he actually has heard of Cracking the Cryptic. So I don't know what this game is or why I might be good at it. It looks like a racing game. I'm pretty sure I would be terrible at that. But anyway, Virtual, thank you very much for for knowing we exist, I suppose. And then the other thing that we were alerted to yesterday, and this was on Twitter, and I should have got the handle of the person who told us a bit about this. Apologies. But look, there's a big Rubik's Cuber called JPerm. And JPerm did a video, I think it came out yesterday, in which they try and solve a Rubik's Cube, and on every side of the Rubik's Cube are the numbers 1 to 9. So you have to sort of fill it in a Sudoku style. And look, we're even in this video. 1.5 million subscribers for JPerm, and JPerm's heard of us as well. So this is how we're going up in the world. And that's the actual. Oh, that's too big, isn't it? Let me try and shrink that down. In fact, let me. I think that one might be a better size. There we go. Yeah, so that's the picture of the cube that JPerm tries to solve, which is it's really good, isn't it? So we're Cracking the Cryptic is just we're just flexing slightly on the world, which is really rather cool. Now, what else have I got to tell you about? Not much, I don't think. I don't have any birthdays today, and I wanted to tell you about Patreon because today is the last day. It's the 20th of April, which means today is the last day if you want to get your solution in to the Nightmare on Sudoku Street, Skunkworks' latest series of masterpiece puzzles, 19 in all. And if you want a shout out, you've got to get your answers in by the end of the day. And if you want just to enter the competition to win the prize, you have to send in what happens after you finish the first 5 puzzles only. But you've only got till midnight tonight, so do have a go at that. And the following people have solved the whole thing, all 19 puzzles, which is some solving, let me tell you. Very well done to Jay Lawhorn, James Barrett, Jay Cricket, Valentin Noyes, Stuart Marsden, Frank Noom, Nadine and Tobias, John Forsyth, Brian Murphy, Bobby Kuzmanowski, Robert McNulty, Mark Dumont, Merritt Watery, Leslie and Stephen Haber, and Diedrich P. Very well solved, all of you. Fantastic work. And now we actually get to do some solving. So I'm going to settle back in my chair. Now I never use the number pad when I type in Sudoku digits, but it has been pointed out to me in the past that if you are doing a modular lines puzzle, using the number pad is really helpful because the numbers 1, 4 and 7, they're all in the same column, and the 2, 5, 8's all in the same column. So if you ever forget, you can use the number pad to remember. But anyway, the way to play, if you want to play, click the link under the video. That will take you to a page that looks identical to this one. And you can play the puzzle on whichever device takes your fancy. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I'm going to start off, I think. A good tip for region sum lines puzzles is to find big discrepancies between the number of cells in boxes. So I can see there's a big mismatch between those two highlighted areas. Let's just highlight those areas. That's 5 cells. That's only 2 cells. So we can immediately say that without thinking about entropy or modular lines or anything, these squares have to add up to at least 15, because the triangular number for 5, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, is 15. So there's no way of making yellow add up to less than 15. And if green has to add up to at least 15, we can immediately rule out all digits apart from 6s and higher into that domino. Now, the same thing sort of is going on this line as well. We've got 3 cells there that have all got to be different digits. The triangular number for 3 is 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So that digit's got to be at least a 6, which is potentially interesting, isn't it? Would be very interesting if this line was modular, actually, because that would immediately mean we would know that this would be down to a 6 or a 9. How do I know that? Well, okay, I'm going to start here. This is a modular line. And that, right, so that means I'm going to label it as such. How shall I do that? Is this going to work? Ah, no! That's what I was going to try and do. Right, this is a modular line. And the reason I know that is it can't be an entropic line because of these 3 cells here. Because if these are entropic, that's a run of 3 digits along the line. So that's got to include a high digit, a 7, 8 or 9, a medium digit, a 4, 5 or 6, and a low digit, a 1, 2 or a 3. Well, if the lowest high digit we could put in would be a 7, the lowest medium digit would be a 4, and the lowest low digit would be a 1. And those cells add up to 12, and I can't write 12 into that cell. So there's no way that this is an entropic line. Now that means it is modular, and that brings me round to where I started this little train of thought, which is, what do 3 consecutive numbers on a modular line add up to? And the answer, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know the remainder. As in, I do know the remainder when those 3 digits are divided by 3. The remainder must be 0. So this has got to be 6 or 9, and that's because, if you think about it, one of these digits, one of these cells, has no remainder when divided by 3. One of them has a remainder of 1, and one of them has a remainder of 2. And the way modular arithmetic works is that basically then you can sum those remainders up, and you find you get to 3 again, which when you divide the 3 by the 0, you get to an integer. So one way of, I suppose, another way of thinking about it, what's the simplest modular sequence we could put along there? Well, if this is from 1, 4, 7, say, it could be a 1. This is from 2, 5, 8, let's make it 2. And that's from 3, 6, 9, let's make it 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3, so this has 0 remainder. That's got a remainder of 2. That's got a remainder of 1. All of them together add up to 6, which has a remainder of 0. So you rebalance by taking the 2 remainder and the 1 remainder. They create, if you like, a remainder of 3, which when you divide it by the 3 gives you the 0. It's hard to explain, but I think you sort of must understand what I mean. So, but as this line is modular, this cell, which is the sum of those 3 lines, must itself have a 0 remainder when divided by 3, which means it's 6 or 9. Now, if it's 6, this is 1, 2, 3. If it's 9, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade this line. That's obviously what I must do, isn't it? So that digit, yes. Look, this digit has got to be, well, no, not quite. This digit, I thought I was going to say it was a 3, because it has to have the same modulus as this one. But it could be a 6 if this is a 1-2 pair. Because 6 plus 1 plus 2 is 9, and that would work. It can't be 9, obviously, because we can't make both of these cells 0. Okay, so let's carry on shading our line. There we go. We've done some quite drab colours along this line. Right, if this is a 6, these have to add up to 6. So they'd be 2, 4 or 1, 5, which yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to work from a modulo perspective. Okay, I don't know how to do that. I suspect this is 9, this is 6, and this is 1, 2, but for no other reason than that just feels like it fits quite nicely. Okay, so I think we better look somewhere else. Can we... Can we do anything with this? This line, I haven't thought about the entropy yet, have I? Right, here's something. If this is an entropic line, those two squares can't include two high digits. So you couldn't include 2 digits in a row from 7, 8, 9. So this would have to be 6 and 9, because we know those squares must add up to at least 15. So if this is entropic, this is a 6, 9 pair. And then that digit would be low. That would be from 1, 2, and 3. And then that digit would be low from 1, 2, and 3 as well, because that would be 3 more along the line. And these would have to be... Oh, right, this doesn't work. Right, sorry. Okay, this is obvious. All right, let's think about whether this line can be E, an entropic line. We just said, if this is entropic, that must be 6, 9. But the problem is these cells. These cells have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to allow this to be a 6, 9 pair. But within every sequence of 3 along the line, we're supposed to have a high digit. And there is no 7, 8, 9 in that 3, or indeed in that 3, or indeed in that 3. So it is absolutely unutterably broken. But that's good, because that means we can... Well, we have to restore this. That we know, therefore, that this is an M. How do I put the M in? I've got to do that. So this is an M, and it's a modular line. Now, what does that mean for here? I don't... It plays with your head, because you've just been thinking about entropy, and now you have to think about remainders instead. I don't think I know anything, do I, in fact? Maybe I shade this line in. Let's do that. Let's use some... Oh, no. I want to keep my M there. I just want to do colours differently. So we'll make that one yellow. So every third cell we'll make yellow. So I'm going to have to do that. There we go. So we'll make this one green. So that's green, and that's green. And then these ones... And that felt wrong, but that is right, isn't it? Those two are the same modularity. So we're in this situation. So those 3 digits are 3 different remainders. So those 3 have a 0 mod 3. Oh, that works fine, doesn't it? And then we get a yellow and a green, which will obviously have the same modularity as here, where we have a yellow and a green. All right, but... This box we can do. Okay, so look here. How am I going to explain this? This I can sort of feel this. It's sort of a bit geometric and a bit modular, but we know that the sum of those digits has the same modularity, obviously, as the sum of these digits, because they must add up to the same number. But we also know that that domino there has the same modularity as that domino there, because this is 1 yellow and 1 green modularity, and that's 1 yellow and 1 green modularity. So if we, knowing that, so these two cells cannot change the modularity that exists in this domino. They have to preserve the modularity, and yet they're both the same modularity. So these have to be 3, 6, and 9. Because if these were, imagine these had remainder 1, that had remainder 1 when divided by 3, and that had remainder 1 when divided by 3. Well, then the effect of adding these two in to this modularity would be to increase the modularity by 2. And that's not preserving that modularity, it's changing it. The only way to keep it the same would be to add 3 to it, or 6 to it, or 9 to it, or 0 to it. And you can only do that if these cells are 3, 6, and 9, because they have the same modularity. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but that feels to me to be completely clear. Is there another way of seeing that? Let me just think about that. Can we do it? Well, we know those 3 digits have 0 mod 3, aren't they? Because that's 3 consecutive sequences. So we know that the modularity of this has to be the same as the sum of the modularity. That's the same logic, but it's quite clear as well. So that whatever modularity this is the same as the sum of those two's modularity. Now, imagine one of these was 0 mod 3, so one of these is a 6 or a 9. Well, then the other will have remainder 1 or 2, let's say remainder 1, but this is the third colour, so this would have remainder 2. So the sum of this could never have the same modularity as this square. Doesn't work. Therefore, I'm saying these are 3, 6, and 9. And I'm also saying that these are not 6 and 9 modularity. So this has become a 7, 8 pair by the power of modularity. And these squares have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is so pretty. And this is a 3 because it is pink modularity. How weird. That can't be a 6-9 pair, or it would add up to 15, and we'd have to make both of those 0, which fails for many different reasons. If this was a 3-9 pair, this would have to be a 1-2 pair. If this is a 3-6 pair, these have to add up to 6. And they would be 1, 2, 4, and 5. So these squares are from 1, 2, 4, and 5. They're either a 1-2 pair, or they're 1, 5, or 2, 4. So 7, 8 go there in the box by the power of our old friend Sudoku. I mean, it is ludicrous that after 22 minutes we're being forced into doing Sudoku in this Sudoku puzzle. But that's the way SSG wants to roll. Okay. That digit is there somewhere, isn't it? Ah. No. Ah. Well, yeah, no. No, I don't. I was thinking I knew it wasn't here, but I don't know that at all. If that's a 9 and that's a 6, then I wouldn't know that. Or if this isn't. It's also quite difficult because I'm so used to seeing colours as being the same digit. So I'm looking at these thinking, oh, they've both got to be 6, but that's absolute bobbins. That's total nonsense. They're just the same modularity. Oh, so I've actually got two modular lines so far. So that would be quite a funny joke if they're all modular lines. This one, I see this one's much harder to get a grip on because there's very little mismatch between, I mean, that's a 3-cell sum, that's a 2-cell sum, and that's a 2-cell sum. So from a region sum lines perspective, this is not, I think, going to yield much joy. From maybe modular line, do we shade it then? What about if it's entropic? If it's entropic, those 3 digits have to include a high digit. And a medium and a low. Oh, we end up down here again, don't we? Was it down here? Yeah. We thought about whether we could have this could be entropic, and we worked out it would be a 1, 4, 7 triple, which would add up to 12. But here that's okay, because these dominoes could add up to as much as 17. They both have to add up to the same number, don't they? I'm not sure I'm getting this. Let's shade this in. That one is the same as that one. It's the same as that one. So the ends of this line have the same modularity. That one is the same as this one. I'm running out of colours here. Light green. Those two can be black. Yeah, I can see those differences. Right. So what's this telling us? So whether this is modular or entropic, this colour scheme works. That feels like it's... Wow. Okay. Wow. Well, we haven't got a complete set of modular lines. This one is not modular. This is lovely, actually. This is a really pretty point. So it's basic arithmetic. You look at those 3 digits. They've all got different modularity. So these 3 digits have a remainder of 0 when divided by 3. But that means that domino must have a 0 remainder, and this domino must have a 0 remainder. Well, that's impossible. And I say it's impossible because we have all 3 colours in these 2 dominoes. So it doesn't matter what we pick for red. Red appears in both sums, but you're adding a different modulus because green and black are different moduluses to the same modulus. One of them might work and have 0 remainder, but the other can't. It's impossible. Let's try and think about how to demonstrate that. I don't know if it's clear enough what I've just said. I mean, because red appears in both sums, whether red is, let's say red is 0 mod 3, so it's a 3, 6 or a 9. Well, then this might be the remainder 2 or a remainder 1, but that will be the opposite. So there's no way that, it just can't work. You could make one of them work. I mean, imagine red was remainder 2, then one of these will have a remainder 1, and the two cells together will be 0 mod 3, but the other one will have the remainder 3 number in it, and that will be remainder 2. So you can't make this work. It will never give you a 0 remainder on both ends of the domino. Because you've always got red on both sides and you're adding a different modulus. So, all right, I think I've flogged that dead horse to death. So this line deserves a different moniker. It deserves an E moniker, which means that we are headed up for at least a 12, aren't we? Because we've got to be going up towards at least 147. Which is that's a very serendipitous number given the World Snooker Championship has just started. We've had a number of puzzles, by the way, sent in themed around the World Snooker Championship. Sorry, I'm just going to have a sip of my cup of tea. So I hope we might be able to have a snooker themed day at some point. It's always been my ambition in life, and I've never achieved it, is to have my own full-size snooker table. Right, okay, so what's this telling me? Is this telling me something obvious? So this is an entropic line, so these are at least 12. So they are 12. Oh, that's lovely. It's obvious. Oh, God. This puzzle just makes you feel daft. Right. Okay. Those 3 squares add up to at least 12 because they must have a high, a medium, and a low digit. And the minimum we can make them is 147. Therefore, but one of these has to be a low digit because there's all 3 different colours. So whichever one of these is the low colour, how are we going to get to even 12? We'll have to have a 3-9 pair. So one of these is a 3-9 pair, or no, they can't both be a 3-9 pair because we've got different moduluses. But not moduluses. No, one of them's got to be a medium digit. Because one of them's got to be a 4, 5 or 6, because all three colours are present. We can't have both being a 3, 9 pair, but one of them must be a 3, 9 pair, because one of these colours must be low. Well, the low... Yeah, so the low colour can't be red. Because if the low colour is red, both have to be a 3, 9, and those two would have to be the same entropy. And they aren't, they're different colours. So either this cell... Well, this cell can't be a 3. I've just realised, sorry, look at this top line. 3 is not here, so 3 is here, and we know 3 is not red. So 3 is here. Yeah, 3 is here. I am still in my brain getting confused between modulus and entropic. But that being 9 is making that square a 6, and that's scuppered my ability to make this a 6, 1, 2 line. But this is a 3, 1, 2 line. So that's great. Yes, that is great, actually. That's actually doing some work. This is 12, so this is 1, 4, 7, and this is the red digit, so that's 7. This is either 8 or 9. This is not able... This can't be 9, because that force... We know that forces 3 into the other position, which would have the wrong entropy. So this is 8, and this is 4. And 4 is from the third entropy category, the medium entropy category. This is a 1, 4 pair. This 7 is giving me a 7 over here. This is giving me an 8 over here. 8 is in one of 2 places in box 4. And suddenly we're being asked to do a lot of Sudoku. 8. Where does 8 go in box 2? It's only got one position. Which fixes... Oh, hang on. No, it doesn't fix the 8. I was getting excited then prematurely. This 8 knocks itself out of there, but there's actually two spaces left for the 8 in box 5. 7 has got to be in one of those squares, so 7's got to be in one of these squares. Now, 3, yes, where does 3 go in column 6? We can't put 3 here because this is a modular line. I have remembered that. And 3 and 6 are the orange moduluses, which these are not. So 3 goes to the bottom of column 6. That's probably making this line enormous now because none of these squares can be 1, 2 or 3. This 3 is ruling out 3's in the corner, which I've not been looking for. Still have one chance for a 3 in the corner, but only one. But those squares are at least a 4, 5 pair. Which, oh no, that's not actually very big. Anyway, that could be 4. Well, it probably can't be 4, 5, 1 for some entropy stroke modular reason. But that's a different story. These are adding up to at least 10, is what we've just learnt. Hang on. Oh, I see. I've got. Oh, goodness me. Right, we must obey the colouring. This is an entropic line, so if that's a medium digit, that's a medium digit, and the 4 gets fixed, and the 1 gets fixed. Wow, okay, so 4 is in one of these cells. Oh, okay, so the challenge now is going to be to achieve similar things. We need to get one of these entropies figured out, don't we? We do. Well, we know it now. 7. No, this is not entropy. This is modular. This is modular. This is modular. So that's got to be a 1 or a 4 because it's got to have a 1 remainder when divided by 3. Okay, so yellows are not 2's and 5's, and greens are 2's and 5's. Oh no, I was about to say bobbins. I'm not going to say bobbins just yet. Okay, so 1 is placed by Sudoku in box 5. And that's great because now this sum to 6 doesn't involve a 1. So that's a 2, 4 pair. So if which one's this? This is modular. So if that's a 1, that would have to be a 4. If that's a 2, oh, that would just be a 2. I see. Okay, so we can't resolve this. The 2 looks up at that 5 though, so that's 5. That's 2. So 2 is now in one of these 2 cells by our old friend Sudoku, very much a fair-weathered friend. And can we do any better than that? 1 is over here. We could... oh, I don't know. Oh, where's 6 in the top box? By Sudoku, the 6 is here. This is 7. This is 9. That feels like it might do something. 6 is in one of those squares. I want to resolve what's going on in these rows. If that's 9, this is a 1-2 pair. What's wrong with that? Don't think there's anything wrong with that. 3. I can place 3 by Sudoku in box 6. So I can place 3 by Sudoku in box 4. How many 3s have we got? That's not a 3 anymore. 3 on the corner is still on the cards. 3 in box 7 is in one of 2 places. 7 is in one of 2 places in box... oh no, 7's in one of 1 place. I've just realised, in box 5. 4 is replaced. Oh, there's loads of Sudoku to be done here. It's absolutely outrageous. These squares are... ah, we've got roping. Look, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So this has got to be a 1, 4 pair, which gives me a pair in this column. And 9, 7, 6, therefore, this has got to be a 6, 9 pair. This has got to be a 2, 5, 8 triple. 2, 5, 8 triple here. This is not 5. Or that's an 8. C's a 2 below it. So we get a 2, 5 pair, which is resolved. 2 and 5. Here we go. Come on. Right, what's going on in this row? 6 and 9 to place on the left-hand side. And then a 2, 5, 8 triple over here. Still a bit... oh, alright, column 8 has a 2, 5 pair in it. Now that's resolving blue as 1. Now this was a modular line, which means that that square, which is blue, has got to have the same modularity. So that's a 4, that's a 2. 2 is now in one of those 3 cells. 1 is not there, look. 1, oh I see, 1 and 4 get placed. That cell is huge because that 1 is putting a yellow 4 in here, which means this can't be a 9. So that's 6. Now let's just check the maths. This should be a 2, I think. That does seem to add up to 15, which would seem to be the answer we first thought of. And now these squares have got to be a 1, 5, 9 triple, with this square being a 9, this being 1, 5. What's going on here? 1, 5 and 9 again. So 9 in column 2 now is in one of those cells, which I think it's all going to come down to this last line at some point. But I think we can do a bit more Sudoku, at least pro tem. This is a 4, 6 pair. No, it's not. No, it's not. 4 and 6 go into the grid by Sudoku. 4 is placed in box number 7 in the corner. No song for you. How many 4s have we got in the grid? Loads. All the 4s are done. All the 4s are finished. 2 here gives me a 2 and a 5. Right, so something must be going on in these final columns. Yes, where's 6? 6 and 9 have got to go into those squares. So 9 is in this domino. This column. needs 5, 7 and 8, I believe. And what are those squares? These squares are, oh, I see, 7, 8 and 9. What about those squares? They are 2 and 7, I think. I don't think I've put a 2 in this row. Right, let's check that out then. No, alright, let's look, alright, jumping around a bit here. Let's look at the bottom of column 5, 6, 8 and 9, with that not allowed to be a 6. And the bottom of this column is 1, 5 and 7, I believe. Okay, we can do a little bit of tidying up there. That square's not a 1. So these two squares are now adding up to at least 11. Right, so where are we then in terms of either region sum lines, entropy, or modularity along this line? Oh, if it's a modular line, that 4 there is the same modularity as that cell, which would have to be a 7. So that looks quite likely. 4, 7. This would be at least 13 then. Oh, I see, but I don't know actually. That cell sees quite, no, it doesn't see a massive number, but it does see quite a lot of digits. It's either 5, 6 or 9 by Sudoku, because it sees 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the row and a 7, 8 pair in the column. So that is 5, 6 or 9. If this was modular, these digits are all not of the same modularity, so I can't rule any of them out. Oh, hang on. If this is modular, those 3 digits will add to a number that's divisible exactly by 3, won't they? So this is huge. So if this is a modular line, that becomes a 7, and these 2 digits must add up to a number that's divisible by 3. So if this will be a 7, this would be an 8, and that works. So that looks quite likely to me. That's 4. That becomes a 7. That becomes an 8. So I need 15. So these have to add up to 11, and they have to be of different modularity. So that takes 9 out of here, because this can't be a 2. This is complicated actually. So this would be a 5 or a 6, which seems like both of those are possible, although they might not be for modular reasons. Hang on. Yeah, that would be the 6. It's really, really interesting. Okay, I want to just think about this properly. So what I'm saying, I was trying to put an M in here. If this is a modular line, because those first 3 digits are going to be 0 mod 3, these 2 digits have to be 0 mod 3. I want to say that means this digit has to be, this digit has to be a 3, 6 or a 9, doesn't it? And the reason we know that is that these 2, when summed together, have to be 0 mod 3, so they must be 1 of remainder 1 and 1 of remainder 2. So if this is a modular line, this digit is a 3, 6 or a 9, and it's not a 3, so it would be a 6 or a 9, which would give me a pair. And let's just do the maths on this again. This can't be a 2, and we know that was going to be a 7, 8 pair, so this is a 6. So if this is a modular line, this is a 6, which feels huge. The line would go 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. No, the line would go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would be a complete, like a thermometer stepping up. So if this is modular, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think that's going to be the answer. So let's just check that doesn't break anything major. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 4, 5, 7. And this is 6, 8. I can't see why that breaks. Right, so we have to disprove this being an entropic line. Now, if this is entropic, that is a medium digit. So this is a medium digit. So now this becomes 5, not 7. But this becomes, oh, this is interesting as well. So this becomes 9 then, doesn't it? Because this has to be different entropy to the 4. So it would go 4, 9, and then this would be a low number, which would be a 1. Good grief. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 6, whatever we do. So hang on. So this is not a 6. Because we know that we either go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 along the line, or we go 4, 9, 1. 4, 9 and 1 add up to 14. So this is either adding up to 14 or it's adding up to 15. Oh. 14 or 15. So this is not a 6. This can't be a 6 because I can't make that sum work. So that's not a 6, which means that the 6, whoopsie. The 6 goes here. It's the world's most underwhelming digit. Okay, so let's come back to this. We still, I think, have 2 options available to us. No, we don't. Ah, that's lovely. Right, okay, look at this row. Where does the 9 go? And the answer is, at first blush, I don't know. It's in that domino. But my 9, I've got pencil mark 9s there. So the 9 has to be at the sort of junction of the 9's there and the 9's there. Therefore it's there. So that is 9, and this is now an entropic line, which means this is a 1. Therefore this is the same entropy as the 4. So this is a 5, and that's a 9, and that's an 8. And that means this is a 1 and this is a 7. So that's an 8. Let's do some tidying up and see if we can do. I've got a 5, 7 pair, so that's a 9. That's an 8 and that's a 7. And that 5, 7 pair is resolved. Good grief. So now I've got an 8 there, I believe, which means that's an 8. Come on. I've got a 5, 6 pair here, which doesn't seem to be resolved, and I've got something here. I haven't worked this out yet. 2, 3 and 7, I think. Well, that's not a 3. Oh, this might all die a death, I think. Ah! Oh no, come on. I've done all the lines now. It must be Sudoku somehow. What have I done wrong? What am I not seeing? I don't know. That's not a 1. So that's 5 or 9. Is there something going on at the top of the grid? 1, 3, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. No, I don't think there is. That's not 1. What's going on? Why can't I see how to do this? I'm going to get rid of those pencil marks, those sideways pencil mark 7s, in the hope that this reveals everything to me. Okay. Oh, look, I've got a 1 here. For some reason I couldn't see that because it's a bit against the black background. So that becomes a 1, I see, in box number. Ah, now I've got a 5, 9 pair here. So these squares become 3 and 6. And that square becomes a 1, and that square becomes a 5. Okay, has that helped us? I don't think it has. Something must be going on in this column. Oh, this 7 is doing work. That becomes a 2. Oh, so I see. So that does my 2 and my 5, and that does my 5 and my 6. Okay. And that 5 does my 5 and my 9. Here we go. Here we go. We have done it. 6s, 6s, 3s, 3s, 7. Oh, what? Oh, 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. How did it know? Let me just delete that again. Oh, I mean, this happened a few weeks ago when I put a 3 in the corner, but it's not happened since, so I don't know why, and now it happens again. It's absolutely bizarre and quite wonderful. That's Sven. That's Sven working his programming magic. So when we put presumably it only works when you put correct 3s in the corner, does it? No, it works when you put incorrect 3s in the corner. So hang on, have I got the puzzle wrong? That might be why. No, it says the puzzle is correct. I've done the puzzle correctly. But basically, when you put 3s in the corner, you get the party popper goes off. Absolutely wonderful. That's just a brilliant puzzle, isn't it? Full stop, start to finish, SSG, take a bow. That was very, very clever stuff. Modularity and entropy all mixed up and ambiguous, and yet you could still figure it all out in the end. Let me know in the comments how you got on with that. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.